All right, get ready because we're diving into some really cool stuff today. We're going to unpack your unique vision for awesome friendships. You gave us a ton to think about, and I'm excited to break it all down.
I know, right? I'm always so curious to see how people approach friendship. It's something we all crave, but everyone's got their own recipe for what makes it click.
Totally. And you don't mess around. You went straight to the heart of it, like boom. Reliability, open communication, being open minded, those are non negotiables for you.
It's so true. And you know, it's funny. It's like those things aren't just for friendship. They're the core of any strong relationship,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's business, romance, you got to have that solid foundation.
Yeah, it makes you realize how crucial those building blocks are. And you're super specific about what reliability means to you, like quick responses, which I get, but you also said you're not glued to your phone.
Exactly. It's that healthy balance you're after. Someone who's responsive, shows they're there, but also respects your space. And remember, you mentioned someone who actually sticks to plans
Mm.
and is down to try new things, even stuff you're into.
Oh, yeah, that shared sense of adventure is huge, not just tagging along, but someone who genuinely wants to explore with you. That's special.
Absolutely. Speaks volumes about wanting a real connection, someone who's present, engaged, not just going through the motions. It's that shared excitement, discovering things together.
And it sounds like you've really thought about the kind of communication that builds those strong bonds. Like you value honesty, being open, but then you also want that balance of empathy and get this challenge.
Yes. And that's where it gets really interesting, right? It's not about having a yes person around, but someone who can bring different views, push you a bit, even challenge you to grow.
Okay, let's break down this empathy challenge thing because that feels key to how you see friendship. It's like you want someone who's there for you emotionally, but will also call you out when you're stuck in a good way.
Exactly. It shows a really mature understanding of what friendship can be, a space for support, but also growth, someone who can comfort you when you're down, but also isn't afraid to give you honest feedback, a fresh perspective when you need it. That's a rare and powerful combo.
And you know, it's cool. You connect that whole balance thing to how you actually hang out. You specifically said quality over quantity when it comes to friends, right?
Right. It's like you're saying, I'd rather have a few deep conversations than a ton of small talk, which, let's be honest, in today's world, that's huge.
For real. You even said text over frequent hangouts. So it's not about always being physically together, but making the time you do have really count.
Totally. It shows you're mindful about your friendships. You're not just checking boxes or going through the motions. You're investing your time and energy in ways that feel worthwhile.
Exactly. And when you do invest that time, you have awesome ideas for what that looks like. Like you mentioned, shared hobbies, writing, and video games specifically, which makes sense because you're all about those deep conversations.
Oh, for sure. There's something magical about connecting over shared passions. Whether it's working on a story together or getting lost in a game, those experiences build memories and strengthen that bond in a special way.
Totally. And it's not just about having fun, although that's important. You also talked about those more profound conversations, using each other as sounding boards for personal growth, exploring who you are. It's like you get the transformative power of friendship.
Yes. You hit the nail on the head. It's recognizing that friendships can help you discover yourself. When you have someone who listens without judgment, offers different perspectives, it can be eye-opening. You're basically saying, I want to grow with my friends, learn from them, and hopefully help them do the same.
And that kind of vulnerability, that trust, it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. Which brings us to what I think is the most fascinating part, this five-stage model of how friendships evolve.
It's amazing, like you've created a roadmap for these complex relationships, highlighting what changes and deepens at each stage. It's brilliant.
I know, right? So you start with the acquaintance, those initial interactions, a quick chat, introduced through someone else, very surface level. Then you move into casual friend, grabbing coffee, some laughs, maybe finding some shared interests.
But it's still early stages, right? You're both a bit cautious, seeing if there's potential for something deeper. And that's where it gets interesting, the shift from casual friend to close friend.
Because that's when those walls come down, right? You start sharing personal stories, being vulnerable, seeing how much you can trust each other.
And if that vulnerability is met with acceptance, the bond deepens organically. You move into good friend territory, you can rely on each other, give advice, share more personal stuff.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
But then there's that final stage, best friend, confidant, your inner circle, those ride or die relationships that have really stood the test of time.
What's fascinating is how you show what evolves throughout this journey. It's not just spending more time together. It's about trust building, being your true selves, and communication evolving as you become closer.
It's like you mapped out the emotional DNA of friendship, how it gets richer and more complex at each level. You even talked about handling conflict differently depending on where you are in that evolution.
Which is key. Disagreements happen in any close relationship, but you stressed approaching them with understanding, especially as the friendship grows.
Exactly. So you've got this incredible framework for building and navigating these meaningful bonds, but then you added another layer, this focus on self-awareness and being intentional about your friendships.
Absolutely. You're not passively waiting for these connections to appear. You're thinking about what you bring to the table, how to be a better friend.
Which is huge. It's like you're saying, I don't just want good friends, I want to deserve them, you know?
100%. It's a level of maturity that's so refreshing. You're not just along for the ride, you're actively shaping
Right.
your relationships, investing in those that resonate with you, help you grow.
And that's what makes your whole approach so powerful. It's not just about finding great friends, it's about becoming one yourself.
Right.
Like you've created this amazing blueprint, but the real magic happens when you actually use it. Like, how will you put all this into practice?
Exactly. It's one thing to talk about it, but how will you use this to build those stronger connections in your own life?
Yeah.
Maybe there are friendships you already have that could use a little boost from these ideas.
Totally. Or maybe it's about being more deliberate about finding people who share your values, you know?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, making those conscious choices about who you surround yourself with.
And that's what's so cool about what you've done here. You haven't just defined what a great friendship looks like for you, but you're also owning your part in making it happen.
It's that self-awareness, that willingness to look at yourself and ask, how can I be a better friend? That's huge.
It is, and it shows real maturity. That you're not just looking outward, you're looking inward too.
You got it.
Yeah.
And that's essential for any relationship that truly matters, romantic, friendship, anything. You've found the ingredients for a fulfilling connection, but you're also acknowledging it takes effort, self-awareness, and that goes both ways.
And that's where I think this whole deep dive comes full circle. You've given us this amazing roadmap, but the journey really begins with how you use it.
100%. Having the knowledge is one thing, but it's what you do with it that counts.
Exactly. And maybe just by sharing your vision for what friendship can be, you'll inspire others to do the same, to be more present, more intentional in their own relationships.
What a fantastic thought, because honestly, the world needs more of that, more genuine connection, understanding, empathy, and it starts with each of us showing up authentically, being real in our interactions.
So there you have it, your blueprint for incredible friendships, all laid out. But the big question is, what will you do with it? How will you build those deeper connections? Think about it. Until next time, happy befriending.